Just don't say balls. Don't. Okay. Can I go? Okay. Welcome to
Balls.
movie. You jerk. Okay, Shorzy. Let me do my thing. Let me do my opener. Welcome to Movie Painter Pleasure Podcast, boys. We're gonna make a lot of money, and I'm gonna retire and buy the trailer park. I'm Melanie, but I was impersonating Julian from Trailer Park Boys, which is one of the shows we're going to talk about. Okay, boys, we're on. All right. So sometimes we talk about TV shows on our movie podcast, and we're going to talk about some shows that we've been binging lately. It's late August 2022 when we're recording this, and we're waiting for Cobra Kai to come on. So you may find yourself wondering what to watch while you wait for Cobra Kai to come back on. So
Is this normally the season for shows coming out that people are all watching?
I have no idea because we've started some of these shows months ago.
True.
And some are older shows like Trailer Park Boys that don't really necessarily
true.
have new stuff out. So some of these shows we're mentioning are live right now, like some like MasterChef and other things are still churning out episodes, and others are just shows that we happen to find and like and binge. So we've got 10 plus one that we just started. So let's start with the first one. We just watched the first episode last night, and that was House of the Dragon, which is a Game of Thrones prequel.
We went from got to hot.
Did we?
Hot.
She's no Danny. Come on.
Oh yeah, she looks like a fish, but...
Oh! I almost spit out my drink. It's okay. It's okay. It's watchable. It's fine. There's some things I like, some things I didn't, and it's almost like if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, the books and the TV show, you're probably going to be disappointed. If you've never seen the show, maybe you'll like it, but I almost feel like you need to go in with some of the background information about the Targaryens and Game of Thrones.
Because they don't, they don't seem very good at setting up who people are in general. Like,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones took their time with their first episode, so... Like, you got to know Ned, and then through him and Catelyn talking, you got to know about Robert, and they sort of slowly got integrated. Very amazing first episode for a show. Great cliffhanger at the end.
The things I do for love.
It was alright. I didn't want to watch it. I wanted to say, fuck them, because they let those dumbass writers stay on, David and David.
And they ruin the show.
And ruin, like, all that build-up. Just because they were, like, tired of the show that they had to get on TV. So, I was gonna be like, fuck you, but Melanie wanted to watch it. So.
I wanted to watch it. I'm gonna continue watching it. Two things that are kind of disappointing for me is... They do rush through some things just assuming that everybody knows Game of Thrones. Like, they throw a Stark in there, and they throw a Baratheon in there, and they mention a Song of Ice and Fire.
There's a Valerian, which...
Not Valyrian.
I don't think there are Valerians once you get to the Game of Thrones, like, series. I think that line is, like, dead. I think that family has died out. I'm not sure. I don't recall any other Valerian characters. They are technically Targaryen descended, which is a little confusing, but, okay, cool. Everybody can fuck off about the bitching about him being black, though. Fuck them.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Like, he's black. Who gives a shit? There's Summer Islanders. There's other people in that world that are black that could have...
Married into the Targaryen family or whatever. So that's my main... They kind of rush through Game of Thrones references as if everybody knows it, which is probably true. But then also... I really wanted to see the very beginning with Aegon the Conqueror coming over from Valyria and conquering Westeros. And maybe they'll get to that later. Maybe they'll do another season on it. But they're not. They're starting that about 100 years later.
Yeah.
So I'm not too invested in these characters.
And I was hoping it was going to be the Dance of Dragons with all the bastards and whatnot trying to fight. And it's not that either. So.
But, we might as well just enjoy it because we know how it all fucking ends up with fucking Bran.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But, okay,
here's
my gripe. Game of Thrones started by, it felt very real. Like, it had a couple of weird quirkinesses, but it felt pretty medieval England. With, medieval other places thrown in. It felt like a pretty real place, and then you just kind of threw in a little bit of magic here and there.
Dragons.
That's really fucked up. This felt way more like this is a high fantasy Lord of the Ringsy type of thing.
It does, and I hate fantasy.
And I don't like that.
I hate Lord of the Rings.
I don't like that at all. I love The Hobbit.
Love
I
The Hobbit.
couldn't
I hate
stand
Lord of the
reading
Rings.
Lord of the Rings. So, love the movies. Melanie doesn't even like the
I hate
movies.
movies. So the jury's still... I'm going to watch it because now I want to see what happens. I want to see what they do with it, but I'm not going to like it.
Give
I'm
it
not
a
gonna
shot.
love it. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. It's
Give
okay.
it a shot.
So that's just our opener. Our official list begins now. Number 1 is MasterChef. I think we're on season 12. It's a reality show where home cooks come to do a cooking competition, and Gordon Ramsay is one of the judges. Now, I got on a Gordon Ramsay kick in the middle of the pandemic because I was so stressed out and freaked out. I remember telling you, I just want to see Gordon Ramsay scream at people. That's going to make me feel better. And so we started binge watching Hell's Kitchen, everything Hell's Kitchen we could find. Kitchen Nightmares, we went through the whole series. And then we started MasterChef.
Which, by the way, Hulu, buy season 10, 2 through 9, or whatever.
Of Hell's Kitchen.
Just buy them, or get the rights, or whatever. Put them up. We want to watch them. Also, pay a guy to just go in and edit out the breaks. All of them. Just give a dude a job doing that.
Yeah, the little emblem where it goes to commercial. You could give somebody a
Yeah.
job editing that out for streaming.
For me, this and some of the other shows are just like, they're good to break away from everything that exists and just watch people talk about making something.
Yeah, and we both love to eat. He's a much better cook than I am, and he likes to cook. And we just like to watch food being made. It's simple. It's some of the challenges stress me
With
out.
a little bit of Gordon Ramsay being a giant asshole.
And Joe
Makes sense.
Bastianich being an even bigger asshole.
If you literally had to work with them in real life the way they act, I would be suing the fuck out of people. Or like...
Oh, yeah.
Or... Yeah, suing the fuck out of people. Because they just abuse people.
Oh, they're
But
horrible.
they've gotten better as they've gotten older. Or at least Gordon has. Like, he's not as much of an asshole as when he was younger. But it's still enjoyable.
It's very enjoyable to watch. It's nice to see people have their dreams come true. As I was driving home, I was thinking about Dorian, who won season 10. This woman was working in a carpet factory in like Missouri or somewhere, and she needed this win, and she won. Spoiler for season 10. And it was so cool to just see somebody who really needed it. Because, you know, they have the fancier ones come on, like, you're going to get a job in Las Vegas, you're going to be fine. I want to see the people who are struggling and coming up from nothing, and they can cook the shit out of everything.
Hell's Kitchen season 1 through 5.
Maybe.
I mean, that's back when they were just getting random fucking people.
Random people who just wanted the dream. So, MasterChef is just enjoyable. We like to watch it while we eat. So, number 2 is one we found on Netflix, Blown Away. It's a glass blowing competition.
Call out to Marvelous for talking with me about that. He was super into it,
This
too.
is one of those shows that I talked to my mom. She said, oh yeah, I've watched all 3 seasons. Everybody's just kind of watched it because Netflix keeps promoting it, and everybody's like, have you seen this show?
It's like an
Blown
underground
Away?
Bird Box or something. It's
Yes.
like everyone's watching it, but nobody's talking about it. So.
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. It's nice to see how things are made. Some of the art people are super pretentious and annoying. And caveat, my father was an art professor. You can be an art critic without being... You can. Some of these people are super... So
okay.
I grew up kind of in the art world, so I can say this.
So
You don't have to be in the art world.
okay, so we accidentally started with season 3 because we just pressed play and it went straight to season 3. And most of them were pretty cool people. They
Yeah.
just all seemed to be
You
pretty
want to see them succeed, and you love...
normal,
I like seeing
nice.
the art. Yeah.
Vince Vaughn was cool.
Yeah.
There's a dude in there that looks like Vince Vaughn. Anyway, but there's somebody in season 1
Ugh.
that we hate with a passion. And she's just the most insufferable asshole about everybody else's work.
An art...
And just all the time, like, I mean, okay, if that's how you want to get your win, that's pretty pedestrian.
I mean, I'm just obsessed with
and then
glass.
she'll
You're
turn
not.
around and do the exact same shit. Oh,
Yeah. Okay, we
Anyway,
can go off on that, but
don't be an art asshole.
Yeah, don't be. I'm not
Except
gonna
for
say,
us.
I'm not gonna say it again because you're gonna have to edit it out again. So
We're kind of art assholes, but we do it like for fun.
And also, I grew up with an artist dad, so I kind of know some of the tricks of the
And
trade.
by art,
so.
I mean bad movies. That's all.
Okay. So yeah, we're artists in our own right. So Blown Away, it's interesting to see how glass is made. It's very satisfying when they take the shears and they snip a molten piece of glass.
Anytime that
oh
you
my
realize
God.
that the glass is, they reheat it and they can just mold it.
And it's yes.
Ugh.
I love watching that. It's like those cake slicing
The
videos.
next one's very similar.
Okay, number 3 is another reality competition show called Forged in Fire. Now, why don't you talk a little bit about this?
Very similar concept. Just watch people make shit. And okay, the last one, Blown Away, sort of has some like drama-y, bickery things. Not a lot, like very low key. It's usually when people are by themselves talking to the camera.
Or they leave the annealer open for too long.
Yeah. But Forged in Fire is the most calm, respectful, like
It's so chill.
battle of people creation. Like, okay, it's just making swords and knives. Every episode, pretty much every episode, starts exactly the same. You're gonna make a knife. It's gotta have these parameters, length, weight, whatever. Here's some shit. Turn it into this. That's it. First round, who has the worst blade? Get out. Okay, now take your blades, put a thing on it so you can hold it and stab stuff with it. Who had the coolest one? You two. Go make a sword. That's it.
That's it. It's very enjoyable. People are nice and respectful. They're big about following the rules.
They shake hands with every single participant and judge every time they leave, and they never complain about being told to leave.
And I know nothing about weapons other than stab with the pointy end, like Jon Snow said. AJ knows a lot about weapons. So you'd think I really wouldn't be into this show, but it is the most, dare I say, the most wholesome competition show I've ever seen. And it's relaxing and it's cool. I have a mechanical brain, I guess. I like to know how things are made. That's why I like MasterChef. That's why I like to watch cooking stuff. I like to know how things are crafted. So even though I don't know anything about these weapons, it's still fun to see the process, see them banging on the red hot metal, and it's cool.
The only problem is that sometimes they talk a little bit of history on certain things, and I'm always like,
it's not accurate.
Is it though? There was something. Oh, I wish I could remember it right now. There was one that I watched recently that they were just totally off on, and now I can't remember it.
Was it a Roman thing?
Son of a bitch.
Was it a Roman thing?
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes the history behind some of the swords that they talk about is kind of off, but whatever. Okay, fine. That's just sort of like media has created certain things.
And that's not one where you need to watch an entire season. It's all a contained episode. They have a winner for every episode. So you can just watch it whenever, whatever's available. You can watch it on YouTube. Whatever's available to you, you get a whole episode with a winner and a little contest, and they get a prize. So that's it. And that's what makes it fun to just put on when there's nothing else to put on and you just want to relax.
Also, the last thought. To the people who get on that show, I don't know shit about forging shit, so this is just my opinion. It's awesome, but maybe don't always try to make fucking Damascus. It seems like you're making problems, and it doesn't add that much other than it looks pretty. That's cool, but it's like every single person thinks they have to do that.
That's probably what I would do.
Just get good metal.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
All right, number 4 is the animated series from DC, Harley Quinn, which is now in season 3.
And it's good.
It is so good. It's written well. It's so funny.
I was afraid of what direction they were going to take with season 3, with it being like, Harley Quinn and Ivy are together, man. Mm-hmm. And I thought they were going to be like, well, we can't have that. We got to, like, make them break up or something. And, like, no. Okay, it does get a little formulaic. Mm-hmm. But it is kind of nice to see that, okay, so, like, a personal type of problem arises, and then they have to work it out as a couple. And that's kinda...
And they're still supervillains.
Yeah, and they're still, like, going to isolated islands and creating flora that will take over the world, and also killing people that get in the way and stealing the queen. And Frank...
Yes, so it's very funny, and there are a lot of random characters that are from the comic books. I'm a big Batman fan, but I don't really know a lot about the DC universe. But you don't really have to. It's written so well. It's so funny. I love what they do with Joker and all the main characters.
The most recent episode was Joker, and
it was
awesome.
all about Joker.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was all about Joker.
I love the idea of Joker being a suburbanite and just screwing with people that way.
Yeah.
Gordon, it is still entertaining, although I'm glad. I think they ended that storyline where they ended it, because it was kind of drawn out a little bit.
Like how much worse could he get?
Like, how much can we get out of him running for mayor? And
he's an idiot alcoholic.
Being a dumbass.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch all 3 seasons. This one's currently coming out every week.
It is on HBO Max. So our next show is on Hulu and also Crave. It's our first Canadian show on the list, and that is Shoresy.
We didn't care for it when we started.
AJ, what's your favorite thing about Shoresy?
It's not fucking Quebec.
That's a joke from the show. So why don't you talk a little bit about the background?
Shut the fuck up, Sanguinette!
So Shoresy is a spin-off of the Canadian comedy Letterkenny, which we absolutely love. Letterkenny was hard to get used to. I will say in Shoresy, there's less of the vocal play that there is in Letterkenny, and that's kind of a relief.
I guess it's a little bit of both. Like, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because that was kind of the draw once you got used to it.
Yeah, Letterkenny takes some getting used to.
Okay, Shoresy's cool. We grew into it with the last 2 or 3 episodes. Like, they got really funny towards the end. And, like,
I almost cried in the 6th episode. Yeah. It made me... Okay, between Letterkenny and Shoresy, I so desperately just want to move back to a small town. I want to live in a small town again. Fuck city life. I'm done. I want to go live in a small town again.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Canada because it's too cold, but I get free healthcare.
I thought it would be a little weird having... I can't remember.
Jared Keeso?
Yeah, Keeso is like, he's the main character here too, and he doesn't remind me of Wayne though. Like, if you let yourself get used to it, you get used to it. You don't forget, but it's...
Because the joke in Letterkenny was Shoresy was this character who would talk shit to everybody, and you never saw his face. You always saw the back of his head. And it was Jared Keeso, the main guy.
Yeah, you knew it was him, because he was
playing
doing
him.
this
But that was the joke.
Voice.
They'd have a hockey helmet on him or something, or his back turned, he'd be in the bathroom stall taking a shit or whatever, or upside down naked in the shower. So that was the joke. And I really didn't think the first couple of episodes were that funny, and I don't care about hockey, so that's part of it too.
Texas,
I don't care about football either.
Yeah, fuck football too.
So it took some growing into, and at first I thought, like, 4 episodes in, I thought, okay, I'll finish this season. I don't want to watch another season. It's not that funny. And then they really got me with the last 2 episodes, so now I might have to see what happens. But it's still, I think Letterkenny is so much better.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people online going like, this is even better than Letterkenny. It blows out of the water. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. So let's talk about another Canadian comedy. Number 6 is one I resisted for a long time, and that's Trailer Park Boys. And I'll tell you why I resisted it. Because I'd see the ads come up on Netflix, and my mind automatically thinks, oh, it's like Southern American rednecks. We live in Texas. Let's just acknowledge the political climate of the world right now. I can't deal with any more Southern American rednecks. So I didn't want to watch Trailer Park Boys, even though I knew it was a comedy. Then I found out it took place in Canada. It's filmed in Nova Scotia. And apparently the white people there are just as trashy as the white people here. And it is so freaking funny. I love this show.
Especially
I even cosplayed Julian for this episode. Every time we see shopping carts on the side of the road, well, you do a good Bubbles impersonation. What do we say?
That's a fucking gold mine right there. We haven't watched an episode in a week.
He does pretty good Bubbles impersonation. So it's awkward.
What you got in there, Julian?
Just my usual Bubs.
We need Ricky. The fucking the bottle cap.
The glasses. So it's very quotable. The characters build and build and build over the episode. So it's at one point, I think we're on season 8. There are so many little inside jokes built into it that
Julian never drops his glass.
He
gets out of a flipped car and he still comes out with liquid inside.
I feel like they must have known somebody, either a dad or somebody who they knew who always had a drink in their hand.
Fucking Leahy and his walking around. Fucking.
The drunkenness.
I've never seen anybody do something like this where it's almost an art form. How delicate he'll move from bottle to bottle. Oh,
This guy who plays a raging drunk, so it's very funny. There are lots of curse words. It's not something to watch in front of your kids. They get into all kinds of trouble. They smoke weed all the time. They're always doing crimes. It's wonderful. I think it is so funny.
And
there's a movie, there's an animated
tons
series,
of it.
tons of it.
It's best from so far. Now we've only watched 8 seasons, but I think season 1 to 7 is the best. But there's a big hiatus, whatever. So there's like 12 seasons. There's 3
Couple
movies. There's 2 seasons of an animated show. Like there's a ton. So watch it to your content. I can thank Christian for putting us onto this one.
Yes, thank you, Christian. It's hilarious. Now send us memes so I can understand all the Trailer Park Boys jokes. Okay, number 7 is on Disney Plus, and that is High School Musical, the series. Again, you'd kind of pass it over. You're like, this is dumb kid stuff. But seriously, it is so smart, it is so funny, and it's very meta.
Okay.
It has to be.
Our whole show is we're going to watch stuff to find out if it's a guilty pleasure. Like, we should hate this, but we enjoy it. We know it's bad. Or we watch it and we talk mad shit about it, but it is terrible. It's a hate watch. It is pain. Mm-hmm. We started watching the High School Musical movies for that reason. We thought we were going to hate watch them all and just laugh our asses off, because I grew up with it around, and I had long hair when I was a teenager, and it was brown.
Did they call you short?
So there were people that, not a lot, believe me, but there was a couple people that like, you look like Zac Efron or whatever. So I was like, no. I even hated Zac Efron for no reason because of that. And then we watched the movies, and we enjoyed them. It was so.
Love them, and now this.
Then
is
the series popped up, and we were like, oh shit, this is either going to be god awful or hilarious or both. So we're going to watch it. And then we just ended up liking that too.
It's very funny, and it stars Olivia Rodrigo, who may have written one of the best albums of all time.
The
Sour.
best, like...
She wrote the song
Bitching about romance
Driver's
albums.
License. And then also, okay, there's a character in it who I don't like, but he's also probably my favorite because he's so awkward and weird and creepy. And he's played by Joshua Bassett, who is supposedly Olivia's ex-boyfriend. And I'm sitting there like, girl, you wrote all of this amazing music about this dumbass. But I call him Deadeye Ricky because he has these dark eyes, black like a doll's eyes. It's like shark's eyes. And he has these dead eyes, so he's Deadeye Ricky. And he's so awkward. And it's kind of like The Office where they'll look at the camera sometimes. It's like a documentary.
He very much... This guy was young when he started it, so I feel like he very much was like, I watched all of The Office. I'm going Jim on this. Like,
yeah.
He's no Jim, but he's pretty fucking funny sometimes.
He really is.
Oh yeah, I'm playing one of the 2 main leads. The friends, villains, lovers?
Like... His delivery is really good. And so season 3 just started, and we're not as big of fans. Now, Olivia Rodrigo has gone off to have an amazing music career, so she kind of shows up once in a while. They even had her sing a song. But the Nene storyline is basically over. So the first episode is almost like it reminds me of Suicide Squad, where they kind of start with the B cast.
Yeah.
And you're like, where's Harley Quinn? Where are all the characters? So it's like EJ and Ashley and Gina and all these people driving to camp. And I kept hoping their car would blow up and we go back to Nene and Deadeye Ricky.
There's no teacher, what's her name in it, in this season.
Miss Jen?
Yes.
Oh.
I hate her. I hate Miss Jen.
I think Basic Bitch is a drama teacher.
But she's not even a teacher. She's unaccredited, and she talked her way into the job, and then she acted like she was the victim when she took a job away from a needy teacher with a real degree. And somehow she was the victim.
Yeah.
Hated that shit.
So the first 2 seasons are about them doing plays at school, and the third season is clever because they're going off to camp, and the camp is called Camp Shallow Lake, which sounds an awful lot like Camp Crystal Lake.
But they don't have a Doom guy.
They need the guy from the Jason movies where he's riding on the bike and he's got the fedora and the full suit going, Doom! Doom! him.
They
They
totally
killed
need
him
to.
off way too early.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I want everybody on this third season to die at the camp, but that's not going to happen. So we're going to keep watching it. It's funny. Sometimes they do songs from the High School Musical movies, which are very fun.
And yet, never the ones you expect. Like, I didn't think we were going to get Fabulous. Like, of all the songs.
Yes. And it is very inclusive and diverse. There are plenty of people of color in the cast. There are gay characters, LGBTQ, everybody, so it's
I'm
very
Mexican
nice
and
to
gay.
see.
This is my inside voice.
Yeah, there's one character who's screaming, and one of them says, use your inside voice. And he goes, I'm Mexican and gay. This is my inside voice. So he's funny. All right, number 8 is also on Disney Plus, and that is Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yes.
with Ewan McGregor.
Okay.
I didn't have high hopes for this, honestly, because I thought The Mandalorian was super boring. But, and also, I hate the Princess Leia character in this show. She's very obnoxious, but it gets better. And there's some badass Darth Vader shit. Oh my god, the Darth Vader stuff is so good.
Okay. I saw a post recently that fully explained Star Wars. There's all this Star Wars media and lore, and it's all riding off the back of the original 3 movies. Very good original trilogy. Everything else after that, just meh. Just okay. Sometimes it's decent. Good.
I'm a Rogue One fan. Where are my Rogue One fans? Comment if you love Rogue One. That is probably my 4th favorite Star Wars movie.
I don't know if I am because I fell asleep. So
How could you?
The ending was cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, but Kenobi, I think, is the best thing that I've watched that's come out that's not the original 3.
I agree with that.
Because, well, for one, I actually really like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I just like his character.
Mm-hmm.
He's cool. He's just nice, and he's trying to be good in a world that's very black and white most of the time, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, yeah. Princess Leia, infuriating.
But she's kind of annoying. She's kind of an annoying bitch as an adult, so...
Stop writing infuriating, precocious children.
Yes, please.
They're just... What were we watching? Okay. That we just reviewed.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Pan was written better. Gohan's daughter, as a 3 or 4-year-old, was written better than Leia as a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was just... She was smart, but she was a kid. She was still a normal kid.
A little kid.
And she sounded like a kid. She wasn't throwing out dictionary-level fucking words like Princess Leia.
It's a good show. Again, it's a little slow in the beginning, but Ewan McGregor really carries it in the slow parts. And again, Darth Vader, oh man, he's evil.
Okay, James Earl Jones came back to do some real voice acting to voice Darth Vader. He didn't give a shit about voicing Mufasa again when they made him redub a bunch of his lines.
The live-action bullshit Lion King.
Yeah, that was dumb. You should have used the original, because you can tell he does not care in the new one. But in this, he's getting in there.
He's ripping shit up.
Also, that kid, Hayden Christensen,
Yeah.
he's not a kid.
Oh,
he's
no,
older than me.
He's like my age.
But he comes back in... I like the scene, for the most part. They're sparring with, like, real lightsabers, which is kind of weird. And, like, should you... You could kill each other.
You can cut an arm off.
Fine, okay. But they just vaguely try to cover up the fact that he's in his 40s. And he's supposed to be, like, 18-year-old again. Like, when he...
You couldn't CGI... Look, I've got wrinkles and gray hair, so you think if they were going to have a 20-year-old me, they'd have to CGI some stuff on my face.
They fully made a CG Leia and that other guy in the...
In Rogue One.
Yeah, so could y'all not...
Just take the lines out around his mouth. No,
Or...
do you have that Disney money?
Anything. Like, it's not his fault. Just... But if you want to make me think that he's that age again, do some
Do a
shit.
little work. Now, Ewan McGregor has a nice big beard. So, beards tend to make you look a little... They tend to hide your age.
Yeah, you look great for your age, because half of it's covered up with hair.
Okay. Are you ready to move on to number 9?
Yeah, okay, the only nitpick I have is it's taken a little while for Obi-Wan to, like, get back into shape as far as, like, the Force is concerned.
Yeah.
I think it's a little weird that it's, like, I get it being sort of like a muscle you haven't used, but it's still mental.
If I could move stuff with my mind, I would do that all the freaking time.
Yeah, so his, like, very low ability, it's a little strange to me, but anyway, that's a little nitpick.
Anyway, number 9, I think, is on Netflix. This is one AJ just kind of suggested as a joke, because sometimes we like to watch movies, and we do have jobs and busy personal lives, and sometimes we just like to watch something stupid. He suggested we watch the original Pokemon series. And all I really know about Pokemon is the South Park Chimpokemon episode from season 3. And I've also seen the Detective Pikachu movie, which with Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. So I know nothing about it. It's really dumb. It's really funny. I love the cat who's with Jesse and James, who's the bad guy, and he has like this New York Bronx accent.
Yeah.
So
I've only gotten her to just before Brock comes into the picture. So Brock is the other third of the trio. So we at least gotta get that far. It's a dumb show.
It's a dumb show to sell toys. They do a rap at the end of every episode. They're like, let's go through some more Pokemon. And there's like 30 of them every single episode.
Well, there's actually 172
Holy
Pokemon
shit.
from this, which was a lie. I think it was 150 or 151.
Oh my God.
That's what they told us. There are 150 Pokemon in the world.
And you bet you want to buy all the toys.
Well, but then they got to the second season and they're like, how are we going to keep selling shit? This area has 170. Like, what? You just told me there's 150 in the world. There's a whole 170 over there just because we don't want to talk to our neighbors. Like, this really happens.
So this is why, okay, when Pokemon Go became a huge thing, people were walking off cliffs and walking into traffic. There must have been tons of Pokemon to catch.
I guess so.
I did not play Pokemon Go. I thought it was stupid.
Me neither. My whole family did, but I'm not, no.
It sounded dumb. But I think it's really dumb. It's a good guilty pleasure. It's so stupid. If you have kids, maybe you want to introduce them to Pokemon from your childhood.
Okay, if I'm going to warn you. If these people have kids, their kids are already watching the new ones that are coming out right now.
Oh, well, never mind.
Because it's been on since I was a kid.
Oh, God.
It never stopped.
Wow.
And it doesn't even teach you anything. There's no morals. The movie, in fact, teaches you a moral and then erases it at the end.
Wow. Okay, I have not seen any of the Pokemon movies other than the weird Ryan Reynolds one, which I don't think really counts. That was a Pokemon movie for the masses.
I will introduce you to the Pokemon the movie eventually.
Oh God, okay, we'll have to do an episode about it. But I think it's funny. It's dumb. It's, again, most of these TV shows are just something we need to either laugh at or see our favorite people on.
It's great to turn your brain off.
It's a guilty pleasure. Yeah.
It's nostalgia plus the theme song starts and you have to sing all of it.
I was walking out of the room and he was talking about, it wasn't like this iteration of Pokemon, it was I think the second one. He started singing the song as a joke and he kind of added a little Michael McDonald into his voice and he sang, I kept looking back and he was like really getting into it and he sang the entire song.
You can't stop. Like you start and it's like South Park when they start, I'm sailing away, and Cartman has to sing the whole thing. Yeah. Pokemon. Oh, if you ever go to an anime convention, my God. If anybody starts it, thousands of people singing it all at the same time.
Oh, the nerds!
Yeah. But then, I went on and sang Johto. So,
I don't know what that is.
Pokemon Johto. Anyway.
Do the whole song.
No.
Yeah, we'll start a new channel where you just sing Pokemon songs.
There's only a few.
Okay.
I think.
So, all of our shows up until now, other than maybe House of the Dragon, have been guilty pleasures. House of the Dragon remains to be seen. That may be a hate watch. I started number 10, our final show, as a pure hate watch.
Yeah.
It showed up on Netflix, and I made AJ watch some of it, and now I'm going to make him watch the rest of the series. It's a short season. It's called Marriage or Mortgage. And it's very funny. It's like a time capsule of 2019 when we thought everything was fine. Mm-hmm. There was no pandemic. There was no housing crisis. So the premise is, it takes place in Nashville, Tennessee. And they have a couple on per episode, and they're engaged. And so they have usually between $25,000 to $35,000 as a budget. The show doesn't give it to them. That's their own money. And they are either going to decide to spend that money on a wedding or a down payment on a house.
Big house.
A house! And they have a wedding planner and a realtor. And I love the realtor. She is, I haven't written the book yet, but I picture her as the villain for a novel that I want to write. And they're both very shiny women. Anybody who lives in Texas or the Deep South knows what that means. So they kind of compete for the couple's attention to either pick the fancy wedding or the house, and I'm just screaming at them the entire time, pick the house. I'm not anti-wedding. I'm not anti-marriage. Those things would be nice, but I can't justify spending that amount of money on a single, like a party where half the people don't eat the food that you paid for. I can't stand spending money on things that get wasted, so that would just infuriate me to spend tons of money on food and people barely touch it. So that just makes me crazy that people are spending all this money on a single day, and they always get them good deals at the end, like, oh yeah, the band gave you a discount, or on the housing side of it, they knocked $10,000 off, although
$3,000 towards closing.
yeah, closing costs or an appliance budget, and the whole time I'm screaming, pick the house, pick the house. Now this is another thing. Most of them have been approved for around $350,000, which was at one point like a decent size. Not everybody could afford it, but decent. I would like to fast forward. Oh my God. And some of the houses aren't that great. They're small. They don't have great amenities. I bet those houses are upwards of $450,000 now. So post-pandemic, post-housing market, I'd like to talk to all the couples and say, are you happy with your choice? Because there are people who chose a wedding and then it shows an update and it says, well, due to COVID-19, they had to have a smaller celebration. So I'm just sitting there going, are you guys kicking yourselves? Pick the house. Every time, pick the house. So this is a hate watch for me because I'm screaming the entire time, pick the house. Go to Las Vegas. Go to the courthouse. Elope. Buy a house.
One couple did elope.
Yes.
Yeah, they
ended up buying the house. We were happy. And there was one couple that did have a wedding later in 2020, and I was good with that because they already really had a house. They just wanted a new house. So they were established. They had their finances were in good shape. They picked the house. So I'm getting way too emotional about this show. I live in a bought and paid for condo that I just paid off. It's great. So I appreciate the home I'm in, but at some point I would like a bigger house. So I think about houses a lot. So every time I'm just screaming at these people, pick the house!
I just sit there and judge their decisions and laugh when the two realtor and wedding planner like being kind of to each other.
Yes, and their fabulous 5-inch stiletto shoes.
And at the end, they always go like, "Well, I was really confident, but now I don't know."
They really play it up for the camera.
Y'all say this every episode. Yeah.
And it seems like a show that's not really in character for me because I'm not a pick-me girl. But I'm also not a basic bitch. Like, I don't have, like, word art. Like, I don't have a sign that says kitchen in my kitchen. And I don't have, like, live, laugh, love on anything.
With that font that's on everything, apparently.
Yeah, the home goods or the Hobby Lobby font. Now, I do like a good home goods buy. But, so, this isn't really my kind of thing. I don't like House Hunters because that drives me crazy. I don't watch Say Yes to the Dress or any of that stuff. But this is, like, the perfect blend of house hunting and wedding shows that a devious, weird, humanity-hating person like me can kind of get behind, and there's a little bit of basic bitch in me that comes out because I'm like, oh my God, that's so pretty, and then I watch the end.
Yeah.
And he just sits there, he's like, okay.
Yeah, we're usually working out or something when we watch it, so it's fine.
Yeah, so that was a pure hate watch, and it's still a hate watch, but everything else is a guilty pleasure, so most of these are on Netflix or HBO.
I got
Master
one more.
Chef is on Hulu. Okay, last one.
I just started it, just came out on Netflix. It's called Tekken Bloodlines. I was waiting for it for a minute. Tekken is a pretty big video game fighting series. And this is maybe the first anime where it's a regular anime where I think it's actually going to turn out alright. And it's based off of a video game. I know there was a Street Fighter anime that I wasn't very interested in. There was an old school Mortal Kombat anime. It was made in America, I think, so I don't know if it's an anime. It's an anime. I didn't love it, but I have nostalgia for it. But this one's actually showing... I've only gotten a couple episodes in, but it's looking pretty good, so I'm just gonna put that out there for people out there. The Mortal Kombat movies are cool, the animated movies, but Tekken Bloodlines is a series. It's kind of like Kang and Asura, and Baki the Grappler. Like, it's somewhere in between those two. It's totally based on the Tekken video game series. There's a little bit of that 3D, 2D mix animation. And I don't really know the actual Tekken storyline, so it's kind of cool to fucking watch a thing where they explain that shit. So, yeah, that's my last thing. Recommend that. I wanted to recommend that show anyway if I wasn't going to talk about it, but there you go.
Yeah, so stay tuned for our Cobra Kai Season 5 episode when we binge that show in September.
Yeah, we get a whole episode of that. Oh, also, for fans of Eddie Gordo, I literally work with a dude who looks just like him. His name is Terrence, and he doesn't like when we talk about that.
Okay.
I'll show it to you later. It looks exactly like Terrence. When he started swooping his hair back, and my God.
Interesting.
It's amazing.
Okay, so if you want to binge watch our show, you can find us on Twitch, Discord, YouTube. All of our episodes are on there. You can also binge listen to our episodes on Anchor, Spotify, and iTunes, and you can binge through our photos, Movie Pain or Pleasure podcast. So join our cult and be my victim.
And leave a comment of your favorite show this season. What's your thing that just hooked you? New, old, whatever.
Yeah, we want to find new shows to binge.
Yeah, we're absorbing your energy of shows.